Have you ever wondered what truly matters when we reach the ripe age of 100? What do people who've lived a century think about life, love, and happiness? You'd be surprised to know that the lessons they've learned are often simpler than we imagine. If you've ever felt like you've lost a bit of your spark, or you're starting to wonder what it all means, listening to the wisdom of those who've lived for 100 years might just be the reset we all need. Today, we're diving into some of the most valuable lessons that centenarians have shared with the world. And the best part? These lessons are not just for people who have lived for decades. They're incredibly relevant to you, no matter where you are on your journey. So, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the fast pace of life? Or maybe you've felt like the small things are getting lost in the shuffle. That's a common feeling, especially as we age. But it turns out the things that really matter are often the simplest. Centenarians, people who have reached 100 years old, often talk about life in a way that's refreshingly uncomplicated. They don't dwell on the things we so often get caught up in, like career milestones or the latest technology. Instead, they focus on a few simple principles that bring true joy and fulfillment. So, let's take a look at some of these timeless lessons. The first lesson: the power of meaningful relationships. It's not a surprise that the most important thing in life for most centenarians is the people they've shared it with. When you ask someone who's lived to 100 what they value the most, they'll often talk about family, friends, and the bonds they've formed over the years. These relationships have been the foundation of their happiness. It's easy to forget this in a world that constantly pushes us to focus on individual achievements. But the centenarians remind us that true fulfillment comes from deep, supportive connections with others. Maybe you've noticed that as time goes on, it can become harder to maintain friendships or to feel as connected to the people around you. Life can get busy, and sometimes we start to feel isolated or disconnected. But here's the thing. If there's one thing we know for sure, it's that human connection has a profound impact on our well-being, both mentally and physically. Studies show that socializing can reduce stress, lower the risk of heart disease, and even increase our chances of living a longer life. That's right, spending time with others could actually add years to your life. And the best part? You don't need to have a massive social circle to reap the benefits. Even having just a few close friends or family members to rely on can make all the difference. So, if you've been feeling lonely or disconnected, I encourage you to reach out. Whether it's calling an old friend, reconnecting with family, or even joining a social group, those relationships are incredibly valuable, and they'll be there for you through thick and thin. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but I don't have the energy for that anymore. Or, I've been on my own for so long. It feels too late to start. I get it. It can be difficult to take the first step, especially when you're feeling low or uncertain. But trust me, the effort is worth it. You don't need to have long, drawn-out conversations. Sometimes just a simple check-in or shared experience is all it takes to reignite those meaningful bonds. Another lesson from our wise centenarians is about the importance of staying curious. Did you know that staying curious and keeping your mind active can actually help you live longer? It's true. People who continue to learn new things, explore new hobbies, and keep their brains engaged tend to have better cognitive health as they age. It's not just about reading books or solving puzzles. Being curious is about keeping your mind open to the world around you. Take time to notice the small wonders in your daily life. Maybe it's the beauty of a flower in your garden, the sound of birds singing outside, or even learning a new recipe to share with loved ones. Curiosity can also mean asking questions and being open to new experiences. Now, I'm not saying you need to be out there running marathons or becoming an expert in every new technology, though. If that's your thing, go for it. But keeping your mind active and engaged is one of the most important things you can do to improve your quality of life as you age. This doesn't mean you need to start a whole new project or take up a new skill all at once. Start small. Try a new activity you've always been curious about, maybe a new form of exercise like yoga or Tai Chi. Or learn something new in the comfort of your home, like how to bake bread or take up painting. And don't forget to share what you've learned with others. The joy of teaching and connecting through knowledge is powerful, and it's something centenarians talk about often. They're not just living for themselves. They're sharing their wisdom and experiences with the world. Now that we've touched on relationships and staying curious, let's talk about something that many centenarians emphasize: the importance of simplicity. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to get caught up in the chaos and lose sight of what really matters. But centenarians often talk about how they've found peace and contentment in life by embracing simplicity. They focus on the essentials, whether it's a good meal, a walk in nature, or a quiet moment of reflection. In fact, many centenarians say they've lived long, fulfilling lives because they learned early on how to let go of the things that didn't serve them. This doesn't mean avoiding challenges or difficult moments, but rather simplifying where possible. For some, it meant letting go of excess, whether that was physical clutter in their homes or emotional clutter in their minds. Simplicity can also mean prioritizing what's truly important. It might be as simple as spending more time with loved ones instead of working overtime, or making sure you take the time to enjoy a peaceful sunset instead of rushing through your day. The beauty of simplicity is that it helps us reconnect with the things that bring us joy, peace, and meaning. When we focus less on what we should be doing and more on what we truly want to do, life feels more manageable and enjoyable. So, if you've been feeling overwhelmed by the demands of daily life, remember this lesson from the centenarians: simplify. Start by identifying what matters most to you and let go of the rest. By now, I hope you're starting to see a common thread. These lessons are all about slowing down and appreciating the present moment. But there's more to come, and we'll dive into that next. Stay with me as we explore more timeless wisdom from those who've lived the longest and experienced the most. It's all about living a life that's rich in relationships, curiosity, and simplicity. And when you apply these principles, you'll find that life becomes not just easier, but more fulfilling than ever. As we continue exploring the wisdom of those who've lived a century or more, we begin to uncover even more pearls of insight into what truly matters as we age. You see, many of these centenarians have lived through hardships, triumphs, and changes that we can only imagine. And despite all the challenges they've faced, they share a common understanding. Life is about balance, connection, and keeping the heart open to new experiences, no matter your age. Let's pick up where we left off. If you recall, we talked about the importance of relationships, how having strong, supportive connections can make life so much richer. Now, let's dive deeper into some of the other lessons that are essential to living a fulfilling life, particularly as we move into the later years. One of the key things that 100-year-olds often emphasize is the importance of staying active physically, mentally, and emotionally. But not just any type of activity. It's about finding what brings you joy and energy, not forcing yourself into routines or exercises that don't fit your body or lifestyle. Many centenarians will tell you that it wasn't the long hours at the gym that kept them young, but the little everyday activities that they genuinely enjoyed. Whether it was a walk in the park, tending to a garden, or a hobby like knitting or painting, keeping the body and mind engaged has been a fundamental part of their longevity. And here's something that might surprise you. Physical activity doesn't have to be strenuous to be effective. In fact, sometimes the most effective activities are the ones that bring a sense of calm and enjoyment, rather than exhaustion. If you're not the type to enjoy intense workouts, there's no need to push yourself to fit into that mold. Instead, you could try something like Tai Chi or yoga gentle movements that help stretch and strengthen the body while calming the mind. Imagine starting your day with a short walk around your neighborhood, breathing in the fresh air, feeling the sun on your skin. You don't have to set any record for speed or distance. It's about moving your body in a way that feels good. This simple act of getting outside and moving can make a huge difference in how you feel both physically and emotionally. And the best part? You're nurturing not only your body, but your mental well-being too. You've probably heard that exercise can boost your mood, right? Well, there's more to it than just that. Studies have shown that regular physical activity can actually improve cognitive function and memory. So, when you're staying active, you're not only caring for your body, but also keeping your brain sharp. This can be especially important as we age, helping to stave off issues like forgetfulness or even more serious cognitive decline. But again, it's not about pushing yourself too hard. It's about consistency and finding activities you genuinely enjoy. Let's talk for a moment about another important aspect that many centenarians swear by, having a sense of purpose. It might sound cliché, but the truth is, waking up each day with something to look forward to can do wonders for your mental health and well-being. Whether it's volunteering, starting a new project, or simply having a goal to reach, centenarians agree that having a reason to get out of bed each day helps keep them motivated and engaged with life. It doesn't matter what that purpose is. It could be something as simple as writing a letter to a loved one or finishing a puzzle. What matters is that you have something that sparks your interest and keeps you going. Having a purpose helps you stay connected to the world around you, and it gives your life meaning. This is particularly important as we age, when it's easy to feel like we've done everything, or perhaps even feel like we're no longer needed. But that couldn't be further from the truth. You're never too old to find new passions or goals to pursue. In fact, many centenarians will tell you that their sense of purpose only grew stronger as they got older, whether it was helping others, sharing their knowledge, or learning something new every day. And on that note, let's not forget about the power of a positive mindset. We often hear about the importance of staying optimistic, but how do we do that when life can sometimes feel heavy? For many centenarians, the key is focusing on what's going right, even in the midst of challenges. When you focus on the positive, no matter how small the victories might be, it can change the way you view the world. You've probably heard this saying, "Life is what you make of it." It's not just a catchy phrase, it's the truth. You can choose to see the glass as half empty or half full, and those choices add up over time. For older adults, maintaining a positive outlook is crucial. It doesn't mean ignoring the challenges or pretending everything is perfect, but it's about finding joy in the little things, whether it's a cup of tea with a friend or watching a beautiful sunset. One centenarian I spoke with once shared that she credits her longevity to her ability to find something to laugh about every day. She told me, "Laughter is the best medicine. Even when things are tough, you can always find something to smile about. That's a mindset worth adopting, don't you think?" The ability to laugh, to not take life too seriously, can add years to your life. Now, this next point is something that many 100-year-olds highlight as one of the most important aspects of living a fulfilling life: the importance of letting go of grudges and embracing forgiveness. Life is too short to hold on to resentment, and holding on to negative emotions can not only affect your mental health, but also your physical health. Many centenarians will tell you that one of the secrets to a long, happy life is learning to forgive both others and yourself. Carrying around anger or bitterness weighs you down, both emotionally and physically. When you let go of these burdens, you free yourself to live a lighter, more peaceful life. This doesn't mean that the hurt doesn't matter or that you should ignore your feelings. It simply means that you choose to not let those feelings control you. It's about finding peace within yourself, no matter the circumstances. Incorporating forgiveness into your life can also help improve your relationships with others, creating a sense of harmony and connection. Whether it's forgiving a loved one or even forgiving yourself for past mistakes, this act of emotional release can have a profound effect on your overall well-being. Now, as we continue exploring these lessons, we'll dive even deeper into the role of gratitude, mindfulness, and the importance of staying curious about the world around us. These are the traits that truly set apart those who live long, fulfilling lives from those who don't quite reach that milestone. But before we go further, let me ask you this. Have you ever thought about how these principles could fit into your own life? What small change could you make today that might bring you closer to living with purpose, joy, and peace? Keep these questions in mind as we move forward, because the best is yet to come. Let's talk about the next crucial element in living a long and fulfilling life, staying curious and open-minded, no matter your age. As we explore the final piece of the puzzle to living a long and vibrant life, there's one essential trait that many centenarians emphasize above all others: curiosity. The most extraordinary thing about these remarkable individuals is their never-ending thirst for learning, growth, and exploration. No matter how many years they've lived, they approach life with a sense of wonder and an eagerness to discover something new, even in their later years. This may seem surprising at first. After all, when you've lived for a century, you've likely seen and experienced much. Yet, those who live the longest are often the ones who never stop asking questions, who continue to grow mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It's this curiosity that fuels their resilience and adaptability, allowing them to embrace change and stay engaged with the world around them. Think about it for a moment. How often do you allow yourself to be curious? Whether it's about new technology, a different culture, a fascinating book, or even an unfamiliar hobby, embracing curiosity is about more than just expanding your knowledge. It's about keeping your mind agile and your perspective fresh. For older adults, this continual learning process can be a key factor in maintaining cognitive function, sharpness, and mental clarity. Many centenarians will tell you that one of the secrets to their longevity is having hobbies or passions that keep them interested in life. It could be anything from reading and writing to learning a new language or practicing an artistic pursuit. The beauty of it is that there are no rules. Curiosity is a deeply personal journey. It's about following the path that excites you and exploring whatever interests you without limits. This is particularly important in today's world, where technology is evolving faster than ever. Staying curious about new tools, gadgets, and systems can help you stay connected with others, increase your comfort with change, and reduce feelings of isolation or frustration. It's never too late to start learning something new, and in fact, those who continue to challenge themselves mentally are often the ones who maintain cognitive health the longest. But curiosity doesn't just apply to intellectual pursuits. It can also influence the way we relate to the world around us. One centenarian shared that his secret to a long life was his ability to remain curious about people and their stories. He would spend hours talking with people from all walks of life, learning about their experiences, perspectives, and wisdom. This openness not only helped him stay socially engaged, but also deepened his sense of connection with the world. This brings us to the next crucial lesson: stay socially engaged. We've already touched on the importance of relationships, but now let's emphasize just how essential human connection is to longevity. Loneliness is one of the biggest risk factors for health issues as we age, and the social isolation many older adults face can lead to everything from depression to cognitive decline. But those who live to 100 have one thing in common: they never allow themselves to fall into isolation. Staying socially active doesn't mean you need to have a bustling social calendar, but it does involve making an effort to stay connected with others, whether that's through family, friends, neighbors, or community groups. One of the beautiful things about long-living individuals is their ability to cultivate deep, meaningful relationships. They don't just focus on the quantity of social interactions, but the quality. Meaningful conversations, shared experiences, and emotional connections with others are a source of great strength and joy. As we reflect on the idea of social engagement, it's important to consider how we can foster those relationships in our own lives. Sometimes it means reaching out to old friends, joining a local class or club, or volunteering your time to help others. Every connection we make enriches our experience, fills our days with purpose, and reminds us that we're part of something greater than ourselves. Now, I want to touch on another important factor that many centenarians hold dear: the power of resilience. Life is full of ups and downs. Tragedy, loss, illness, and challenges are a part of the human experience. But what makes the difference between those who thrive and those who don't is how we respond to adversity. Resilience isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about how we face it, cope with it, and learn from it. Older adults who live to 100 often reflect on how they've weathered the storms of life with a positive attitude and a sense of inner strength. This ability to bounce back from setbacks, to find meaning in difficult circumstances, is what allows them to continue on with life in an empowered way. It's about cultivating a mindset that views challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to happiness. For some, this resilience is rooted in spirituality, for others in their personal belief systems or a deep sense of inner peace. The ability to stay grounded, no matter what life throws at you, helps you maintain emotional and mental stability. The most resilient individuals are those who understand that adversity is inevitable, but how you respond to it is entirely within your control. In the final piece of the puzzle, let's reflect on the simple yet profound value of gratitude. This might sound too simple, but centenarians consistently cite gratitude as one of the key elements of their long, fulfilling lives. Taking the time each day to reflect on what you're thankful for shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. It helps you appreciate the present moment and fosters a sense of peace and satisfaction. Gratitude doesn't require grand gestures. It's about noticing the small things: the warmth of the sun on your face, a good cup of coffee, a phone call from a friend, or a beautiful flower in bloom. The more you express gratitude, the more you cultivate a mindset of abundance, where you begin to see life's blessings rather than its burdens. By practicing gratitude daily, you build a positive feedback loop where joy and appreciation grow. And this positivity can enhance your overall well-being, contributing to a longer, healthier life. As one centenarian shared, "I'm not focused on what I don't have anymore. I've lived long enough to know that what matters most is what's right in front of me." So, as we wrap up this journey, we now have a roadmap from the remarkable lives of those who've lived for a century. Curiosity, social engagement, resilience, and gratitude, these four cornerstones form the foundation for a long, fulfilling, and vibrant life. Let's take a moment to reflect on these lessons. What can you incorporate into your own life today? How can you cultivate these principles to not just add years to your life, but to add life to your years? The truth is, it's never too late to start living with intention, joy, and purpose. The wisdom of those who've lived for 100 years teaches us that age is just a number, and the key to a long, meaningful life is embracing each moment with an open heart, a curious mind, and an unwavering commitment to well-being. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of the centenarian's wisdom. I hope you carry these lessons with you as you continue on your own path toward health, happiness, and fulfillment. Remember, It's all about the little choices you make every day, choices that lead you to live with more energy, more joy, and more love.